Hi, I'm Kathy Lewis, the Executive Director of Crosslines Ministries in Joplin. We have a food pantry and a clothing and housewares bank, and we help with rental and utility assistance. We have a lot of volunteers and we help a lot of people. I'd like to share some stories of why we do what we do and who we help.
My name is Debbie Sierra, and I'm a volunteer at Crosslines Ministries. I came from a really rough childhood, very, very rough. And I wish there had been people, and it's not necessarily the stuff to get, but just people that showed they cared about me would have been really nice. And that's what I see here, is that people are treated really genuinely with a lot of respect and a lot of compassion. And if I can be a part of that and help people feel better about them and their life situation, then I want to do that. I love the people. The people here are great. The staff is great. The volunteers are great. I love being with people and helping people. The people that are coming through. I had one lady today that made me cry. She just she just moved out of her home with from her boyfriend. I guess it was a bad situation, and so she has to be on her own, and she's got a couple of kids, and so she hasn't had to ask for help for a while, and she had to come in today, and she was on the verge of crying, so she's real raw. And I start getting a little teared up too with some of them. Some of the stories that come through are just so sad. You know, people come through, I've never had to do this before. You know, I don't know what to do. So it's neat to be able to help them. It's very fulfilling. I think I get more out of it than the people we help. I think one that really stuck with me is just somebody came in and they were just on the verge of tears, and this was all new to them. They felt ashamed that they had to ask for help. They were embarrassed, and so you just reassure them and try to help them feel better, and know that you can help them. One man came in and he had been in an accident. I think it was a motorcycle accident, and he was pretty banged up from that. And so he was on disability. And he was real teary because, he was working man, and then all of a sudden everything gets taken away from you. And what do you do, and where do you go for help? And so there's just a lot of, I don't know if there's one that stands out more than any others. Our faith is pretty strong, but it has really made it stronger. I don't believe that God just comes along and says, well, I'm going to zap this person, or I'm going to zap this person. We live in a world it's a fallen world, and bad things happen to good people, and bad things happen to bad people. And I believe that God is always working in our lives, and it's really strengthened it, to be a part of a ministry that's helping people. And I believe that God is watching out for them and taking care of them. I strongly believe that.
My name's Janet, and I'm a volunteer here at Crosslines Ministries. Came from California a few years ago, and I didn't know anybody here, and the people here in Joplin were so welcoming, and they just made me feel at home here. And I wanted to give back. I'd had help myself, and so I was looking for places to give back. This was a place that was recommended to me by a couple at St. Paul's, where we all attend church, and I was looking for a place to give back. And they suggested here, and I came here, and it was so wonderful to work with all the people here that I just kept coming back. And I've been coming in about 2 days a week, sometimes more, and everybody here is just wonderful to work with. My faith is really strong anyway, and I just, as Pastor Brown would say, I felt a nudge to give back, and this was the place that I was suggested to come, and it's I feel it. I feel that everybody here has a strong faith, and even the people who walk through the door. But it makes my faith stronger, if that's possible. I think the faith came first, and then the nudge. But it just makes me feel really good to work here, to volunteer here. I don't feel like we're giving them a handout. I feel like we're giving them a hand up. Everybody enjoys it here. The people, just everybody gets along, everybody's respectful of everybody else, and it's a really great place to feel needed. So I really like it here. I do. It's like family.
I am Adrienne Patton. I am a client of Crosslines Ministry. I was on the internet looking at places to help. I looked up like food banks in Joplin area, financial assistance and stuff like that, and it popped up Crosslines. And I've heard some people talk about Crosslines. I mean, family members donating and stuff like that. And so we came in and filled out all the paperwork. We had some financial situations, income coming in that had been cut significantly, almost $500 cut back, and we needed some help with food, with diapers, with rent, just for a couple months until we can get back on our feet. They have a food pantry if you're in crisis. When you don't have anything at all, they will help you with and get you set up with your staples and stuff like that that you need. They saved me from drowning, you know. They helped us out a lot and made me think about when I get back on my feet, what I can do to help Crosslines, you know, to give back to them.
Wow, weren't those some great stories from those we help and from our volunteers? Now I'd like to tell you about our 320 event. That's our 35th anniversary celebration. We've been helping the Joplin, Carl Junction, and Webb City communities for 35 years. So on March 20th at noon, we're going to have a celebration. We're going to have the spiritual dedication of our building. We're going to have an historic reveal, and we're also going to have fellowship with all the community and business partners and churches that have helped us throughout the years. Let's hear another great story from one of our volunteers.
We are Gary and Ida Fitzgerald, and we volunteer at Crosslines. Our church at St. Paul's here in Joplin mentioned that they needed volunteers at Crosslines, so we decided we'd come and see what it was like.
You get to interact with the clients and you get to have fun with the people of different churches up here. They can always send money or canned goods and volunteer. We're always looking for a team to help us out because it takes a team to keep it going.
And a lot of people don't realize that they can just come here and volunteer. They think they have to call in and ask to be set up for volunteering, but all they got to do is show up.
One thing I like about Crosslines is that God tells us to serve, so when we get out and serve at Crosslines, we're not only giving them a helping hand or a little bit hands up, we're also teaching them or talking to them about things that they can do.
One particular individual in specific, and I don't know his name, so I can't give his name, so he comes every month, this Wednesday of every month, and right now he's homeless, and a couple months ago he was homeless, and he didn't know what he was going to do for a meal that night. So he comes here, gets his food, but he lives in his car. And he was trying to head down to his one of his relatives out of town, but he didn't have the money to get there. And all the places around he checked that hold homeless people for the night were full. So he said, well, tonight I'll sleep in my car. And a couple months ago, it was pretty cold this night. So then we got to worrying about him because he didn't show up last month, so we didn't know where he was. And fortunately, he showed up today, and he'd been down to his relatives down in wherever, and he's still homeless, but at least we know he's still alive and doing something. And that makes us feel good because I've prayed with him, and I went out and we've talked about his situation, and we've prayed a lot.
Gave him
a lot, the
choices.
Food that we give, that the government gives us to give to him, and it's keeping him there. So
we had a lady, it was about Christmas, come through with 5 kids, and it was her and the 5 kids, and they were probably 7, 8 years old, and they went through the pantry first. No, they got clothes first. They got clothes first, and so they asked Gary and I to bag their clothes separate so that they could each carry their bag. So we did that. And then the kid started into the pantry and he said, "Mom, we got to pay for our clothes." And the mom said, "No, because people in this community and the churches here help out, we can get this free." And then she went through the pantry and the little kid said again, she said, "Mom, we gotta pay for our food. You always said we had to pay for our food." And she again told her, "No, because of the people in this community, the pantry's here for us to get." But without that, they wouldn't have been able to eat that night. We're very blessed. God has blessed us, so we are here to serve. It humbles us too and makes us realize that right here in Joplin, you can serve and you can help people out. There are people hungry right here in Joplin.
We try to volunteer when we can and where we can. And I mean, we range from the front desk to the commodities area to the pantry to the clothes area. So wherever they need us is where we go, and get along with all the churches, so there's no problem at all.
Yeah, it's fun getting to know, because St. Paul's is a big church, St. Paul's United Methodist here in Joplin. So we know the people, a lot of people in our church that come out and serve also. But it's fun getting to know the different churches in Joplin and Webb City that come out. And there are some people that don't go to church, but we have clients that volunteer also. So it's great working with a variety of people. It makes you humble, and you thank God every day that everybody's one paycheck away from that. So you thank God that He has blessed us so much that we can go out and pray with these people or talk with these people about God.
And a lot of them say, "God bless you, thank you very much. This will help us a lot," and all that stuff to us. So.
My name is Charlene, and I volunteer here at Crosslines. I started back when they were down on High Street, and I followed them here. I love it. I lost my husband, and my children said, "Mom, don't sit home, go get involved in something." So I went down there and I told them I'd like to volunteer, and that's what I did. I like the people. The people that work, that volunteer here and work here. I love the clients that come in. And it just, I don't know, it just seems like there's so much love. I just feel so humbled when I help somebody, because I always think that I have family away from home, and I think, supposing they needed help and somebody would help them, then I in turn, I feel like if I can help somebody always has to help each one of us, has to help one another. And I love it. I absolutely, I'd do it every day of the week if they needed me. It's a joy. I feel very humble because, people come in. I've had people that come in when I worked on the desk, and I would wait on, and they would be just thanking me, and I'm just a volunteer, and I said, and I would say to them, "Honey, I'm just a volunteer. Like I'm giving them something. I'm not giving them nothing, but they make me feel." I've had them hug me and say, "Well, you just made my day," or something, and I'm thinking, I haven't done anything but just waited on you all, but it's just nice. And it's a great camaraderie here among the people that volunteer here and the people that work here. I hope I'm humbled enough that's what I'd like to be, a very humble person. I'm blessed I've been a member of my church for over 70 years. The ladies that used to work with me, they moved away, and so far I'm the only one that volunteers. Our church does give a contribution to Crosslines. I'm from Unity Baptist Church here in Joplin. I'd like to see more of my church members come and help out. I talk to them. I mention it to them very often. I know they wish I'd be quiet, but I'm not. I'm just blessed. I want the blessing to pass it on to someone else if I can. So.
We've got a lot of amazing stories here at Crosslines, so if you'd like to be a part of one, please give us a call. Our number is 782-8384, or our webpage is crosslinesjoplin.org. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you soon.